What's good, Humbl fam? Why don't y'all come on in? Let's have us another visit here on the Humbl Show. I am Grant Fletcher, joined as always by my co-hosts Moonbeam Hallows and Brandon Cox. How do we feel today, my friends?
Hey.
It's so good to be here.
Awesome.
You know what's crazy? This is episode 16 of the Humbl Show.
Oh, wow.
Man, it feels like episode 6.
Right?
Yeah, it really does.
Which means we've amassed 4 months worth of episodes basically at this point in time.
Dang.
And, you know, they said it couldn't be done. And here we are, Humbl fam. We are all together once again. And, you know, Moonbeam, you and I were talking the other day. I was like, you know, it's really encouraging to see the number of people who are hitting us up, you know, really from the overall numbers, like the podcast numbers, but on YouTube, you know.
Oh, yeah.
More people are watching, more people are checking out the shorts. And we said a couple episodes ago, you know, if everybody listening that wasn't yet subscribed, just hit that subscribe button, it would help us hit our goal. And y'all came through big. And, you know, honestly, I'd like to invite everybody, if you're out there, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and do so now. It would help us grow, help more people come into the Humbl fam. And, yeah, man, just grow this little community that we've got. We're nurturing here as well. I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely.
How far are we from our goal? Because I'll make
you mean like for the month?
new email addresses and
What's that?
that's nothing.
You can't. Yeah. No. Let's do some marketing. Let's do some multi-level marketing.
Ooh,
right?
be your own boss.
Listen,
be
have you
your
ever wanted to
own.
own your own business? Yeah. But yeah, it's just really cool to see, and I'm glad we can do this every week.
Can you like go into an MLM and be completely inept? Like, can you just be like, I don't know what hand lotion is. Can you tell me about? I don't know what these things
man.
are.
I feel like a lot of those things are because I have fallen victim to that.
A lot of people have,
and continue to do it. I believe right now I'm a Rodan and Fields consultant, because they've got a really good product, but it is 100% a pyramid scheme.
Well,
Yeah.
what's funny is I think a lot of the times those MLMs, they do have a pretty good like a lot of them do have a good product. It's just the way they sell it that's the scummy way about it.
It really is. But I mean, like I believe in Rodan and Fields, but I will tell you that it is 100%. I make no money off of it.
Right.
I just have it to get a discount.
Those damn Girl Scouts.
You just have it so you can buy it from yourself and get the discount.
You think I'm bullshitting you?
No, you know what? Hey, look, if you like the product and you want to put in the effort to just go ahead and get it from yourself, yeah, that's not a bad idea. You know what? You make the MLM work for you in that way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's probably at the end of the day not worth it.
But do you go to all the meetings? Do they have meetings you got to go to?
No. I mean, you can.
Right.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure the person over me has a person over her who has a person over them who sends out Facebook, messages. But I'm not part of any of that anymore.
Yeah. You're like this
never really have been
shadow sales rep that they have, somewhere on the books.
I don't sell anything.
Yeah.
I don't sell anything, but I 100% could. If you would like to hit me up for some lash boost.
just DM us over at Humbl Show, HUMBL3 Show, Instagram, Threads,
go ahead and
TikTok,
absolutely,
wherever.
Go
Facebook.
ahead and sign up you and your entire Bunko team under my name, and then you guys do all the work, and I can just get your residuals.
There you go. Look, we figured it's a reverse funnel system. We figured it out.
But I'm not going to put any effort in PW.
How do we feel right now? Look, we usually record Thursday night. We recorded Sunday morning last time just to kind of get us something laid down in the middle of my Hero Con just to kind of get a feel for what was going on. But then you got to get home, and then you got to rehydrate because you're usually dehydrated when you get home.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And it's funny because I told myself, I was like, you know what? On Monday, I'm going to be real productive. I'm going to get everything done that I need to get done for the week, basically, on Monday in regards to this show. And I got pretty much nothing done on Monday.
Yeah.
I just kind of, I don't know, man. Just sort of was in a bit of a malaise. It's exhausting working the cons, you know?
It really is.
You need, I mean, like people, I've heard the sentiment before that people need like a cool off day from a vacation. You know, people always say take that one extra day off of a vacation to cool off, and I feel like it's a similar sentiment with cons. You get to see so much of what you don't get to see in your day to day life. You get to see all the people that you wish you could see in your day to day life. And in the case of Florida, I mean, there was the beach,
right?
Which was nice. But yeah, even so, you need that day of, all right, let's ramp it down. You know, coming back to reality, which is fine, but it's not a con.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's like, you know, people didn't you somebody say like, oh, you're lucky you get to work at Comic-Con, and we are, and we do, and it's great. But we put in some work, y'all.
I mean, I feel like I got home really late Sunday. So we left right after teardown. So I got home and just crashed and slept till about 11 the next day.
Yeah.
And got up and was like, okay, that's all the sleep I get to do. I have to get back to work.
Yeah.
Man, that Alabama coming up.
I know. Alabama's coming up at the end of September, and that one's going to be. That one is. I was counting the other day. We have like 31 celebrity guests for Alabama Comic-Con, September 23rd and 24th at the BJCC in Birmingham. That's a lot because I'm already trying to get ready for it, you know, to do those panels and whatnot. And we got a lot going on. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say something about the panels, but you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, just wrapping up my Hero Con Sunday was interesting for the panels. Y'all did if it was you or Greg who put together the panel schedule. I'm not sure, but it was you. It was Moonbeam pointed to herself. No one can see it, but she did. It was smart because you put all the legends on Sunday, all the like veterans on Sunday. Sunday was Justin Cook, and then Lucy Christian, and then Monica Rial, all three closing it out. So, because like people are typically pretty tired on Sunday, even the attendees, because they had a real big fun day the day before. And they're just taking it easy, and they're like, maybe I'll go to the panels, maybe I won't. But we had a decent turnout for Sunday because all those folks just had amazing resumes.
Oh, absolutely. I'm watching a show currently who I had no idea. You have both Monica Rial and Jade Saxton voicing characters.
Oh yeah, what are you watching?
Watching Michiko and Hatching.
Oh.
So it's a really good, like, you have this orphan girl, and then you have this Judy Greer-esque, like, femme fatale, and they're teaming up. They're getting into adventures in Brazil. It's a whole lot of fun. I love it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we didn't have Jade at this show, but Jade's awesome. We like working with Jade.
She's done several shows with us, and she is the sweetest.
Mm-hmm. Super cool. We'd work with her anytime. For sure. What time did y'all get out of the venue?
Oh man, let's see. Probably finished up about 9
o'clock at night.
9:30 maybe.
And then you drove back to Philadelphia. How far is Philadelphia then from there?
It's like 4 hours and 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, it's about 4 hours 45 minutes, and just turn on a podcast and
right. Yeah, I did the same thing. I was for some reason I hit the pillow when I got home and I was just wired. I was wide awake. I could not fall asleep for anything. But we lived through it. I guess that's maybe why I didn't get anything done on Monday, but we made it. and it was a successful show. And I want to thank everybody who came out.
Oh yeah, it was fun, man.
You know,
thanks everybody.
All of our attendees, all of our celebrity guests, all the volunteers, man. Gosh, like
It's a good group.
We've got such a great group. It doesn't happen without the group. And we had some newcomers who were great as well. And I think at least one or two of them are returning, coming back for Alabama Comic-Con at the end of the month.
Listen, I met this new volunteer, Rachel. I knew her for about 4 seconds.
Okay.
Before I knew that I was going to keep her. She was so rad. Yeah, she was awesome.
Yeah,
she got there on Thursday morning, and she was awesome. She worked her butt off, and she had a great time, and she thought we were funny, and she clicked right with us. But had a few new volunteers, and they were all really sweet. Had one that helped Smokey on rotation. She did amazing. And then some of our moldy oldies brought a friend.
Her moldy oldie.
And brought their friend Jacob. He was super great.
We've talked about Smokey before. Can you break down for our listeners, for the Humbl fam out there that may not know what rotation means exactly?
Well, okay. So I don't know if you've ever done a convention, if you've ever volunteered for anything, whatever. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times you're stuck. Somebody gets stuck at a door, and we try to not get anybody to have to be stuck at a door. So we do like a rotation. You're at one door, then for an hour, and then you move to another door for an hour, and then you move to another door for an hour, and then you move. But I mean, it's more than just doors. Obviously. I know I'm not selling it very good.
No, you are not.
You do.
Occasionally, you see a famous person walk by the door. I guess.
Yeah, but plus you get time to go float. We call it float, but it's basically you get time to go shop and check for wristbands. But it's a really good way to see the show as far as from a volunteer perspective. I'm really glad we implemented the rotation, and that was old Smokey Joe's idea. So
look at you! You go Smokey.
Yeah, he's a pretty handy old guy.
But you get into the show for free.
You do get into the show for free.
Some of our volunteers we make pay double for the show, though. Depends on who you are.
You get the brightest shirt that the Lord ever did make.
You can see it from space.
And then if you work really hard, you make it onto the travel team, and then you can travel.
If everybody says, that's the one.
If you're cool, if you're really cool, and you know what? I think if you're listening to the show, I think you're cool. So go over to AlabamaComicCon.com and check it out if you want to. And you know what? I do think it's probably important that we mention this, because we said if you're cool, you get invited to the travel team, et cetera, et cetera. So
there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
Well, yeah,
a lot to take into consideration. Even if you're cool, do we want to sleep next to you?
Right. You're right. You got to share a room with somebody at some point. But that's what I want to talk about. Like, as I think it should be said, like, how do you get yourself escorted out? How do you get yourself uninvited? Because here's the thing. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say it happens all the time. I don't want to single any one person out. I don't want to say it happens every time. But it's not an unheard of thing that someone gets asked to politely leave, right? I mean it's happened.
You mean from the convention or from as a volunteer?
Well, you know what? Let's do both, shall we?
Okay.
Needless to say, in both instances, if you're acting onions,
that's all it is. That's the bottom line. Whether you're at the convention acting onions, or you're a volunteer acting onions, you're gonna have to get escorted straight to the skillet.
Exactly, which is the state of Florida.
Yeah, in Florida they just
it's shaped like a skillet.
Yeah, that's true. It's got a panhandle and everything. But what I'm saying is, basically, like for volunteers, I mean, we have a meeting, right, before every show, and Moonbeam goes over all the do's and don'ts. And basically, I mean, if you can abide by the do's and don'ts, you're pretty much fine.
But if you don't,
But if you don't, if you don't do the do's and you do the don'ts.
Well, look, here's the thing. We've that doesn't happen very often. I've only had just a handful of times where I've, uninvited someone.
Right.
And it was because they didn't want to do what they were asked to do. And so there was no point of them being there, so I had to do that. I've had to do, I had someone that was just extraordinarily rude to an attendee, and that S won't fly. No. So they got uninvited. And then we had one guy that went on Twitter talking about one of the guests' financial status or some kind of
don't do that.
It was years ago, and I mean, I don't think he meant anything. I don't think he was. I don't know. It was whatever it was. It was a big negative. Well, so he got uninvited. But I mean, it was just it's just one of those things that you live and you learn, and you I can pretty much tell who's gonna make it and who's gonna break it. So I don't generally invite just anybody to come stay with us.
We had one guy that was leaving Upper Deckers, and we kicked him out.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Is that why?
And for some reason, we let Brandon back in, but he didn't do it again. So
when you said Upper Deckers, is that the same as a top shelf?
I don't know.
I don't believe so. No.
An Upper Decker, I think, is from the. Is that from MacGruber, the movie? Is that where that came from?
I saw that movie in theaters, loved it, and I have not seen it since. I need to see it again.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that in the movie MacGruber. So watch that if you're looking for an education on Upper Decker. Come back, report back to me if that's not the case, but I think it is. Or just Urban Dictionary, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't think it can't be the same as a top shelf.
I don't believe so.
Maybe, but no. With volunteers, you just got to be helpful. Like that's the bottom line. If you're helpful, we want you, and you're nice, we want you, and you're not you're not some weird pervert or stalker or.
Did y'all have time to give anybody a gold star this time?
Oh no, we did not. No, we didn't even have any kind of closeout meeting. We absolutely ate pizza and skedaddled.
Nice. Yeah. Helen back pizza. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really good. That Reuben pizza was amazing.
Oh, I missed out on that one, but all the rest of them were good that I had.
It was good, man.
That's good. And that building's pretty cool too. I do like that building. It's clean and it's feels a little more intimate and looks nice and the staff was pretty good to us as well. The Destin Fort Walton Convention Center over there. So hey, Destin Fort Walton, y'all play your cards right. Might see us back there.
Maybe.
You
guys were great though. They were really sweet. They were very helpful and they were just we got there to set up and we literally were greeted by 15 people trying to help, and we were like, we don't really need any help. So we got.
I am not one to judge someone by I say I don't judge a book by its cover. I do, but I say that I don't to appear to be a better person than I am.
Right, sure.
So there were two members of the staff there that were really awesome. They looked to be, I'm trying to phrase this correctly, but safe, middle-aged, I'd say in their mid-50s, if not a little bit older. And they heard what I was playing, and this one guy brought up DRI and Dr. No and old SST records. I'm like, whoa, you look like the guy who would the ball lands on his yard, and not only does he keep it, but he burns it. And then another guy brought up Meat Puppets and Butthole Surf. It was really cool.
I had someone comment on my music too. Because we were doing the podcast and and we were talking about what was in the bag, and Sarah said there were puppies in there. So I got the Too Many Puppies song from the Primus song stuck in my head. So I was playing that back in the registration area.
Yeah.
Some guy came up and wanted to talk Primus with me, and I was like, this is exactly how I wanted my Sunday to go.
Yeah. Here's how you get over with Brandon. You go by the merch booth and you say, you know who I hate? Morrissey. I really hate Morrissey.
I only don't hate Morrissey because like I know I read so much about him and then I stop. You
haven't gotten into you stop yourself from getting into the lore.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's like it's almost like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone that did horrible things but is not too controversial.
Right.
Let's see. I don't know. Like there are just so many figures in this world that like I don't hate because I know that if I continue to learn about them, I would despise them. But I just stop myself. I'm like, well, they their mama should have raised them better. Dang.
Yeah. I wanna enjoy these tunes. I'm just gonna stop reading for now.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll come back to it one day, but maybe we'll not. It's like the finale of The Sopranos for Moonbeam's brother.
Oh man,
just don't.
It just goes to
watch
show
it,
you.
and it never ends. There's stories of him driving around L.A. like with his windows open, and listening to Morrissey. So
he himself listening to himself.
Yeah.
What a buffoon!
What was he listening to?
Oh, like what song specifically? I don't know.
What song specifically?
I'm not sure.
What's Morrissey's favorite?
It's an uncorroborated story. Who knows? I just want to believe it's true. You know,
he's like a local SoundCloud rapper, like bumping his stuff in like in the shakiest, crappiest of cars around town. It's like, yeah, that's what I'll listen to.
That's marketing, y'all. That's how you get it across.
Yeah.
I just know that in general, a lot of people just regard him specifically as being insufferable. So
yeah,
be the case.
There's something about the and I apologize for the broad generalization to all of our listeners across the pond. I know that we have some. There's just something about like when a popular British musician gets older, they're just like, time to no longer be cool with the people I should be cool with anymore.
Yeah. Eventually, you're just detached from real everyday life for long enough. It just doesn't matter to you anymore, I guess.
Yeah. It's just like,
Morrissey live in L.A.? Like, isn't he like he live?
Oh, I'm sure.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think Greg just corroborated the story. He lives in LA. Yeah. I think so.
We saw Morrissey. I went and saw Morrissey a few years back. No, he played a lot of he played a lot of covers. I don't know.
Weird.
I just want to hear the hits. I just want to hear the Smiths hits.
He did that one cover of that Pretenders song. Was it Back on the Chain Gang? What is that? Is that what it's called?
Did he do that one at the show? I know he did that. Was that Bill? I Love You So and I Always Will. I don't know the name of the song. Maybe it's just called Bill. I sang that one.
He did a music video for that Pretenders cover, and in the music video, he is doing something that every time I see, I nearly soil myself. It's Morrissey playing a guitar.
Oh wow!
No, and apparently he can, and he does. Like I've talked to like guitarist friends who are like, yeah, he's. I mean, he might not be actually playing in the video, but he's miming the chords perfectly. And I'm just like, the only thing that would like blow my mind even more than that is if like Henry Rollins was in a music video playing the guitar or any instrument,
or anything. If he were playing a harmonica, it'd be a surprise, right?
Yes,
man, I'd still buy it.
Oh, absolutely.
Henry Rollins plays the blues.
100%. I'd buy
it. Whatever. I'd be on board with it. It's fine. All right, we spent a lot of time. We spent a lot of time.
Just edit all that out.
Yeah, you know what? If you want to know why this episode was only 15 minutes this week, it's because we spent too much time talking about Morrissey. No, it's all in now. It's all in there. It's too late. Look, so we've wrapped up My Hero Con. We're moving on to Alabama Comic Con, and I just want to say, I'm looking at it here. We've got 5 wrestling guests at Alabama Comic Con. We have Sting up at the top, the icon, right? Kevin Nash, DDP, Mick Foley, and Ruby Soho. And we just announced a new show coming up in January. Moonbeam, you want to tell us about it?
Do I want to tell you about it? Why don't you do it?
You want me to tell you about it? Oh, y'all. Check this thing out, right? January 13th. Do I have that right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'm always going to be asking this here. We're bringing a show to the backyard of Brandon and Moonbeam. Moonbeam is her name. Boom, boom, boom. Called Kayfabe Fest. And if you're a wrestling fan, you know what that means. And if you're not,
it's going to be so much fun.
It's okay. Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. One day show. There's going to be some wrestlers there. There's going to be some wrestling there. Actual live wrestling. And I have wanted to work a show like this for a very long time.
We figured it would be your dream job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I texted Brandon the second we went and looked at the venue. And I mean, I've been there a million times. I've been to every graduation for the past 30 years there.
Oh, yeah.
But I texted Brandon. I was like, guess what? I was like, we're going to do a show in Neshoba County. And he was like, you know what? I don't know anything about wrestling, but I'm glad to have a hometown show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a coliseum in a small town. So what it is they have, pageants. They have like gun shows. They have rodeos and like motocross. And graduations and pageants.
Yeah, it's a big multi-purpose building. Yeah,
they're
gonna have a gun show there on January 13th, but it's gonna be this kind of gun show. Talking about the flexing kind. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Everybody's been super excited. Like everybody at the venue, is super excited, and we're gonna get the city involved, and it's gonna be a big old hoot.
That'll be cool. Guests are still coming together as far as what celebrity guests will be there, and we've worked with so many wrestlers that are just amazing. And can I tell you something? That is going to shock the both of you.
Yeah.
Do y'all know that amongst the internet fans, the reputation is that JBL is a jerk?
What?
Yeah.
I've never gotten that. No.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is
it's a bunch of horse talk.
He's an actor.
Right.
He's the funniest.
The narrative online is that he's a huge jerk. And let me tell you something. JBL rules.
He is so cool.
I would work with JBL every weekend.
Listen.
Every weekend.
He's so cool. Like, it doesn't matter if the venue doesn't like allow outside food or food and beverages.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
He will say, I would like hamburger and French fries. Oh, well, the venue doesn't have any of that. I really like hamburgers and French fries. But he's just so cool. Like, you're gonna smuggle some fries in for the man.
Look, for JBL, we'll make it happen.
You want some fries, man? I'll get you some fries. You really so like cool. Fries, but seriously, burgers and fries. Like it's like whatever the option is, no matter how fancy the option, he wants a burger, fries.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Yeah,
he's a cool dude.
He knows what he wants.
Funny,
man.
My God, he's
he
funny.
lives. Where's he? He lives in Bermuda or something like that now. Craziness, I know, but it was funny. We worked with him back in November at the Preserve Halloween Fest, which is coming up again this November, and Sting will be there over in Dallas. But
nothing says Halloween like some wrestlers.
I know. Well, okay, we'll get into that a little bit here too with JBL because it is a funny story. But he's sitting there at his table, and I wanted to go talk to him ahead of the panel, and I was sitting with Corey. Corey was his handler that weekend. JBL's this big Texan. He's sitting there with his hat on, and he's looking at his phone. And I wanted to get his attention, so I was saying, "Oh, hey, JBL." I said, "Hey, Corey, do you know why Texas doesn't drift into the Gulf of Mexico?" And now the latter part of that is it's because Oklahoma sucks. But whenever I said that, JBL looks up and he's got a big smile on his face and he goes, I know why. And he goes, I'll tell you a story. And then he tells me like 2 or 3 stories back to back. And they were all great. They're all great stories. It was so funny. And I even joked whenever he came up on stage for his panel. I said, yeah, we were talking about having this show up in Oklahoma. And he said, well, then I wouldn't have been there.
That's so weird because like I've always viewed Oklahoma as like Texas's little brother.
No, there's there's heat there. There's a rivalry between mostly like for college reasons, like sports teams reasons type things. But yeah, that was the story. It's funny. He's great, man. Anytime you get a chance to meet JBL, go.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Rad.
So speaking of which, I have a game. Since we just announced Kayfabe Fest, and we got a bunch of wrestlers coming to Alabama Comic-Con. Look, we got a lot of great guests, okay? Giancarlo Esposito, Ron Perlman's going to be there. There's a lot of Sons of Anarchy folks there.
We just announced Sonny Strait.
Sonny Strait's going to be there, who was the voice of Krillin in Dragon Ball Z. Lou Diamond Phillips, Doug Jones, like so many awesome names. I can't even begin to name everybody who's going to be there. They're all going to be, they're all amazing. The cast from the show Letterkenny also going to be there too. But since it seems like a wrestling week, at least I'm going to make it a wrestling week, right?
Oh, it's a wrestling week.
Ooh, I'm a fail at whatever's about to happen.
One of my friends is actually competing on pay-per-view this weekend for the Ring of Honor World TV title.
Oh heck yeah!
He's dropping names, homie.
Yeah, his name's Shane Taylor. He's been the TV champ before, but this is a pay-per-view, high-profile pay-per-view match. This show will drop by the time it happens, but on Patreon. Even on Patreon, the early release, the show will be out here after the match is over. So who knows who will have won? But
I'm glad that Shane Taylor is a wrestler because that sounds like the name of someone's older brother who practices wrestling moves on their younger brother all the time.
Shane Taylor's at it looks like he could have been that kid. He's big.
Yeah,
he's a big man.
Yeah, if he has a little brother, oh my god. The little brother probably has all sorts of, well, we won't talk about that, but...
we'll say bumps and bruises, yeah.
Yeah.
No, our game here is called Wrestling with Reality. And,
I do that every day.
Yeah, that's right. And I know the two of you are not wrestling fans per se.
I mean... I like
wrestling. You know Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah, of course.
I know him.
You know a bunch of wrestlers that are awesome people. But...
Look, hold on a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, here's the thing about I had to take Jake the Snake to the airport once.
Yeah.
And I drove a Mini Cooper, and I was like, man, he can't get in my car because he's an older gentleman, and he's an ex-wrestler, so his body hurts, And so he gets in the car. It's about 1,000 degrees outside. And I crank up the car and I tell him, I'm like, look, he gets in, the seat's all the way back. And he's like, don't you tell anybody. Don't you let anybody tell you that I can't fit in your car. And it's hot outside. Just give it a minute and it's going to cool off in here. He said, I can make it cool off faster. So he reaches over and closes my vents so the air is flowing out of here. And then, I was like, whatever, And on the way to the airport, he's telling me about how I need to cut out gluten, and he points over to my stomach, which is I've lost a little weight, but before it was quite robust, and he was like, that right there, I guarantee you all that's gluten. So
just a very blunt human being.
But I'll tell you what, man, he is awesome. He's hilarious, and he really is a sweet guy.
Man, just radiates Gary Busey energy.
He's a funny dude. All that's gluten.
That sounds about right. Man, yeah. I've never met him. Maybe, maybe soon.
You've never met Jake?
I've never met Jake.
He's Allison's favorite person on earth.
Yeah. Allison has a lot of nice things to say about Jake. They have the two of them, I know they have a very antagonistic type of relationship with one another.
Oh, yeah. She's like, "Hey, is everybody back there comfortable? Except for you, Jake. Nobody gives a shit."
Nobody cares, Jake. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We like him. We'll keep him. I wish he would do more shows with us.
Well, yeah. All right, we're going to play a game called Wrestling with Reality. That's our trivia game this week. So, like I said, I know the two of you aren't the biggest wrestling fans, so we're going to try this out where I'm just going to give you a name, and you tell me whether that's an actual wrestler or a name that I just made up. Okay. I got a bunch of them here. So you got a 50-50 shot on all these. Are you all ready?
We just yell it out?
Well, we'll do one at a time. I got enough here for each of you to do a couple of them.
All right, Greg, don't talk.
Greg knows all these offhand. He's going to know all these anyway. It doesn't matter. He already knows.
If he doesn't know it, he'll still tell you that he knew it.
Moonbeam, I'll start with you. Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Is that a real wrestler, or did I just make that name up?
You made that up.
I made that up. That is a real wrestler, actually. He's the current AEW World Champion.
MJF.
Greg said MJF.
He's got the same initials as my daughter. Yeah.
You did that on purpose.
I did not. Actually, I did not. He didn't rise to prominence until after she was born. In a full person, like talking and stuff.
Write that down, MJF.
MJF, write that down. He's represented by primetime appearances.
Is he really?
Yeah, his persona's not a very family-friendly one, though, so I don't know.
I mean,
but
what does that mean?
That's true. Brandon, is Mandy Rose a real wrestler, or did I make that up?
Look, here's the thing. Nothing against Mandy here, but I mean that name is just so. I'm trying to think of a good way. It's just so. I'm going to go ahead and say yes, absolutely.
You think Mandy Rose is a real wrestler?
Look, there has to be at least one wrestler out there named Mandy Rose.
So you're saying it's so generic that there's no way there's not a Mandy Rose?
Exactly. Okay. I'm sure that she could beat the heck out of me if she's real, but
yeah. Yes, Mandy Rose is a real wrestler. Actually a wrestler.
All right. Well, let's hope that she doesn't tune into this and hear my disparaging words.
Is that Dusty Rhodes? Wait a second.
No, not Dusty Rhodes. Not Mandy Rose.
You were saying Mandy Rhodes.
Rose like the flower. Yeah.
Is Mandy Rose.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah. Moonbeam.
People are going to be listening to this thinking we're the biggest freaking Google.
Moonbeam, is Luchasaurus a real wrestler?
Oh man, I hope so. I hope so.
Are you going with yes?
No, I'm going to go with no.
You're going with no. You're saying Luchasaurus is not real.
No, I think you took that straight off of the T-shirt that I have made for Alabama Comic Con.
All right. Well, I hate to tell you this, but Luchasaurus is an actual wrestler.
Is it really? Well, praise God. Greg, why don't you shut your damn mouth?
You already said no.
I'm gonna send you some footage of Luchasaurus so you can see what that's. And yeah, we do have a really cool luchador shirt design coming to Alabama Comic Con that I'm really excited about. He's like dropping an elbow onto a kaiju.
I need to post that somewhere so people can get fired up.
Please do. I want to. Yeah, people will get excited about it. All right. Brandon, is Bullet Jr. a real wrestler or a fake wrestler?
Fake wrestler.
That is accurate, Brandon. Another point. I made that one up. Moonbeam.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
How about Dolph Ziggler?
That's a real person.
That's a real person?
Maybe.
I can hear Greg laughing. All right. Yes, that is a real wrestler. There is actually.
It felt real.
He's been around for quite a while.
Felt real. Felt like I've heard that before.
He's also a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, and he's a comedian and actor and all that other good stuff.
Oh, very cool.
Brandon, is Emilio Carlos, is that a real wrestler or a fake wrestler?
Real wrestler.
Emilio Carlos is a real wrestler? Incorrect. I made that one up.
Dang!
I took Emilio and Carlos Estevez and put them together. All right, Moonbeam, you got the last one.
All right. Is this a tiebreaker?
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Brandon has won the game with 2 points. You have one. I have a tiebreaker here in case you needed the tiebreaker, but I'm going to throw it to you anyway, just for a redemption shot. Okay.
Yeah, just in case we do tie.
The Gobbledygooker.
The Gobbledygooker?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a real one.
That is real.
That's
You are correct.
That is real.
Oh, so it's a tie after all.
It was a weird character they came up with for Survivor Series way back in the day. This turkey character that they immediately were like, we got to get rid of this character. And then they brought him back to do a battle royal like decades later.
Good Lord.
So yeah. Brandon took it, but Moonbeam did get some sort of an attaboy there at the end for getting the gobbledygooker correct. So nicely
Lord.
done.
Somebody that just eats up wrestling is listening to this saying,
so angry.
Man, I wish somebody was asking me those easy questions.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing. I can only do that game because I know y'all don't watch wrestling.
Don't know crap about wrestling. Yeah.
I think it wouldn't have worked if I had an actual wrestling fan on here. That's why. Yeah, we did.
You should have included Fred Durst and all that.
Fred Durst, yeah. Well, that would have been correct because he's participated, somewhere.
He has, and he's been in like 2 or 3 wrestling video games. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville also gotten involved.
Donald Trump.
Look, Jay Leno wrestled Hulk Hogan one time.
People love Fred Durst.
They do.
Well,
especially Brandon.
There's the whole Brandon versus. I'm gonna just create a whole compilation of Brandon versus Fred Durst from this podcast, and we're gonna post it on YouTube somewhere along the way.
Look, please do, because that the only way that I can describe him and not have me edit it out, he is an egregious goober.
Yeah,
yeah.
Brandon, you're gonna get stuck with Fred Durst in an elevator one day, and you guys are going to realize how much you have in common.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, you know what, Fred Durst, you're not half bad.
And then the moment I step off that elevator, I take a, you know what? No, I'm not going to say what I was about to say, but I'm going to rethink my life.
I think we need to wrap this one up before Brandon decides to break stuff. Y'all, like we said earlier,
a lot to edit out, homie.
I will take all of you to the Matthews Bridge.
Oh God, here we go. Look, y'all, we appreciate you hanging out with us again. We'll be back here next week. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button wherever you are and follow us on the socials as well. We will see you back here next week. But until then, stay humble.